Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome back to another Witcher video. That's right, The Witcher Season 2. We have a trailer now, and I apologize, I'm a couple days late on this. I didn't know it dropped the first day, and I have a lot of other things going on with the book. We get ready for formatting for my debut fantasy novel, The Crimson Gods, so be sure to sign up to our newsletter. That link will be in the description below. Really looking forward to it. We will be covering The Witcher, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. Anyway, The Witcher Season 2 trailer breakdown. It looks like we're moving into Blood of Elves book territory. And we'll still see definitely some short stories as well, as most of this footage actually comes from a short story called A Grain of Truth, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But overall, we see Kaer Morhen for the first time, the School of the Wolf. We see some other Witchers, including Vesemir, although we don't see him close up. And we see some of the other few remaining Witchers left in the world, Vesemir, Eskel, Lambert, and Cohen as well. We see some training. Looks like there's going to be some little, shout-outs or Easter eggs for the games as well, although the games are not canon and takes place in a different timeline. Looks like there's going to be a few shout-outs and Easter eggs to the game as well. Witcher 3, one of the most popular games ever. I wish they would hurry up and make the fucking Witcher 4. Anyway, we see Cirilla, or Ciri, or otherwise known as Zuriel, her actual name, is going to be the major player this year as we move into Blood of Elves, where Ciri will become almost a Witcher. She does go through the training of a Witcher, but she does not undergo the Trial of the Grasses because they can't do it anymore. But she is so powerful because she has that Elder, otherwise known as Elven blood. We see that Nilfgaard is taking over the continent. Looks like the armor has changed from that nutsack armor from last season, so I'm glad they improved on that. I said that last year that I thought some of the monsters looked a little bit weird, and there were a couple things that bothered me, but I knew they'd have more money for Season 2. Obviously, Season 1 was a big hit, so we'll see a lot better stuff, I believe, as far as the production this year. We see Ciri having nightmares, just like the books as well. In the books, her power gives her actual nightmares, so Geralt actually got Triss Merigold to help with the nightmares whenever they get together. So we'll see if they follow that up in the show as well. We do see one of the monsters here, and the monsters are all unique things in the world of The Witcher. We do see a harpy flying around, so we'll definitely have our dose of unique Witcher monsters in this world. But remember, the real monsters are men. That's the whole point of the damn story. Looks like we have an Easter egg as well from the Witcher 3 video game where we have the silver sword with that particular look from the game. Although that design does come from the books, but we always know that a Witcher carries two swords, a regular steel sword for men and a silver sword for monsters, and sometimes men are the monsters, which goes back to the whole damn theme. But most of the footage we see, I believe, is from A Grain of Truth, which is a short story as well. One of my favorites in the first book, where he finds a corpse of a merchant and a young woman and follows the path from which they had come from to a rundown manor surrounded by a high wall and gate. I mentioned last year in one of my Witcher videos about the signs, and I'll link that in the description below as well, that Geralt often uses the sign Axii to calm Roach down when Roach gets a little anxious around monsters and weird things that he senses. So that's what happens in this short story. Roach gets anxious and he casts a sign, but he's soon distracted by the sound of a rushing beast, and shortly thereafter, Geralt comes face to face with the mansion's current owner, Nivellen. Now, he's more of a beast than man at first glance, but he's fully capable of speech. He is a regular man that has essentially been cursed to look like a beast all the time, kind of a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And so Nivellen tries to scare Geralt off, but of course, being a Witcher, he's not really scared, like most people would be. So he stamps and snorts, assuming that he'll run away like everybody else. But of course, he is Geralt, he don't give a shit. Anyway, after all that, Nivellen eventually decides to invite the Witcher inside. Nivellen decides to tell Geralt about himself, his father, his grandfather, his family, etc., and the last 12 years that he spent cursed in this mansion. He reveals how he was cursed in the first place, which I won't get into here. So while he's telling him all this shit, Geralt's listening and kind of draws his own conclusions because he knows how people talk and how they lie, or how they kind of, talk their way around the truth. So Geralt suspects something else is up. Nivellen explains that since his fate seemed to be straight out of a fairy tale, that perhaps other fairy tales contained a grain of truth, and that's where it gets its name. In particular, tales of beautiful young women turning beasts back into men. Again, this is kind of a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, more of a darker, twisted version. But he tells Geralt about the succession of young women who came to live with him, and it only took one to realize that simply living would not break the curse. He treated them like true ladies, requiring nothing from them but their company, and they all left richer for their stay. So throughout the meal, Geralt keeps asking Nivellen if they are alone, and he keeps kind of dodging the question. At the end of the dinner, Nivellen escorts Geralt out, unwilling to discuss the latest girl named Verena, who does live with him currently, but he does mention some drinks he's been having lately. So anyway, Geralt leaves and stays nearby in the woods, and returns the next day with his silver sword in hand and medallion quivering, and confronts the Bruxa, or a type of vampire, which it turns out is actually Verena, the current companion of Nivellen. Of course, a battle ensues, and actually during the fight, he's about to die because she's so quick. But Nivellen suddenly appears in front of the house and distracts the vampire, saving Geralt's life. Then the vampire Verena turns to Nivellen, and it seems she wants to take him with her if she is going to die. Geralt finally kills Verena, saving Nivellen's life, but not before Verena displays her love, and that, mixed with her blood, finally undoes Nivellen's curse. He turns back into a man, and Geralt leads him away with a new corpse, trying to answer all the questions because now he's confused, and he doesn't remember everything that's happened. So anyway, that looks like that will probably be episode 1 of The Witcher Season 2. We also see some dead Witcher medallions in this trailer as they all still vibrate when monsters are around. This is kind of like a vigil to fallen Witchers. And then, of course, during the end, we do see that Yennefer survived the Battle of Sodden Hill, so they will be reunited, and she will get to know Ciri as well as we get further into Season 2. And then, of course, we see Jaskier or Dandelion as well, and we finally hear Vesemir actually speak at the end. Although we only see the back of him from a distance, we don't get to see his face yet. And if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And of course, be sure to subscribe to get everything and click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.